Well, I didn't walk away empty-handed from Record Store Day 2024. Welcome to the Kiss Army Things YouTube channel. My name is Xander. So this weekend was Record Store Day, and just in case you were living under a rock, there was yet another Record Store Day release dedicated to Eric Carr. Last year it was Rockology, Eric's first posthumous album, and then this year it's a reissue of his second posthumous album, Unfinished Business. I can think back to when this was released. Back in 2011, I was still in high school. I got it immediately. I was hearing a lot of this stuff for the first time, like many fans probably were. So it was really cool to see an Eric Carr release then. It's really cool to see an Eric Carr release now, except this year's was a step up. First of all, new artwork. So obviously we all know that the Creatures artwork is very iconic. So here we have a very up-close look at the Fox. The vinyl was limited to 5,000 copies, and the kicker was that if you pressed in between Eric's eyes, his eyes would actually light up and glow, and that to me is just a top-tier feature, especially considering it relates to a band as epic as Kiss. So it was really cool to see that. There's even a USB-C charging port on the side, so if it dies, you can just charge it back up and have Eric's eyes glow indefinitely forever. So what a really cool thing to do this Record Store Day. And I was in line and I could see it right in front of me. There were two sitting right there, and I couldn't wait to get my hands on them. And I watched as the two people in front of me took the last two.
You slept too late!
I even made sure to get there early this year. Last year I showed up way late and had to wait in line, and this year I thought, no, I'm going to get there an hour early, and still ended up being even farther back in line than I was last year. I'm not sure how that works, but yeah, so I was already kind of worried and nervous standing in line thinking, am I even going to be able to get my copy? But just like last year, even though I missed out on getting it on vinyl, I was still able to get a copy on CD, and these, I believe, were even more limited than the records were. I think there was like 5,000 pressed to vinyl, only 1,500 of these, so I'm still glad that I was at least able to get something of an Eric Carr release. And you know what? I'm actually really glad that I got. I mean, I don't have a record player in my car, so I was jamming this the whole way home. It had been a while since I listened to this disc in full, so it was really cool to just hear some of these demos again. It's very historic, very Kiss-storic. It's a very personal album. Lots of material of Eric Carr's before and during Kiss. Lots of great demos. You have Just Can't Wait, which was a demo that Eric and Bruce, I think, recorded together. It was just an instrumental that was recorded around '87. And then years later, I think someone named Nick Clement or something like that wrote lyrics to it. And then Ted Poley from Danger Danger was the one who sang lead vocals on it. So that's just one of the demos. Eyes of Love is probably the most well-known Eric Carr demo, my personal favorite. That should have been on the Kiss album, unquestionably. I cannot believe that did not make it to a Kiss album. What a great, fantastic song. Great 80s song. No One's Messing With You. That one would become Little Caesar off of Hot in the Shade. That is the third version of that song that I've ever heard. Of course, you have Little Caesar, which would be the final version of Hot in the Shade. Here's this one, No One's Messing With You, which that lyric would be used in the chorus for Little Caesar. But if you think back to that box set from '01, there was a version called Ain't That Peculiar. Ain't that peculiar? Hey, Little Caesar. It's weird how songs musically can have different sets of lyrics, but I wonder how many other versions are out there. But anyway, you have some really great guest musicians on this record too. I've already mentioned Bruce and Ted Poley, but ZO2 did a really awesome cover of All Hell's Breaking Loose, which is a Kiss song that has a very rare Eric Carr co-write. As a matter of fact, it's one of the only Kiss songs to have writing credits dedicated to all four members. At the current time of the band, you have one from the first album, Love Theme from Kiss. You have Fanfare from The Elder, which, okay, whatever. But then there's also Back to the Stone Age off of Monster. So All Hell's Breaking Loose is one of the only songs that has writing credits given to all four members of Kiss. So ZO2 did an awesome cover of that. And then Joey Quesada, who you guys might know was on my show recently, he did a cover of Car Jam on Unfinished Business, which that is a pretty tall order, of course, the mighty Car Jam. But he's a huge Eric Carr fan. He knocked it out of the park, and so it's really cool to have, you know, not just Eric, but some musicians who worked with Eric or are fans of Eric, you know, all coming together to make a really, really cool release. What's always stood out for me is the audio tracks, just the speaking tracks. You have lots of clips of just Eric talking about the band, talking about Kiss, talking about the fans. There's one where he's even talking about Mark St. John. That is just super cool. I wish they were longer. They're just little snippets. Every other track, every few tracks, you get a little audio snippet of Eric Carr saying something, whether it was from an interview or you have something, some stuff from rehearsals. It's just really cool to, again, I'm driving in my car and I have Eric Carr talking to me. And that's just really, really cool. So I'm glad that this Record Store Day release came out. It's packed full of a lot of stuff. And the thing is that not only was it just a straight up reissue of Unfinished Business, but it's also a deluxe edition because it comes with 5 unreleased bonus tracks. These are songs that were transferred from Eric's personal tapes. You have I Found You, The One I Adore. That was from the Cellarman, 1968. That was one of Eric's bands. You have Down by the River, which is a cover of a Neil Young song. And this was covered by his band Salt and Pepper around 1974. There's a demo of a song called Get Down. I believe this is an original by Eric's band Creation from 1974. A really awesome cover of Black Magic Woman, which was written by Fleetwood Mac, made famous by Santana, but this is being performed by Eric's band Salt and Pepper. What an awesome cover. And last but not least, you have Listen to the Music, which is a cover of the Doobie Brothers from around 77. So it's really cool to know and to hear some unreleased Eric Carr demos, the fact that there's still material out there that the family's finding, digging up, and converting, and allowing us fans to listen to. That's just wonderful. This release is, again, it's very historic. I mentioned all the audio from Eric Carr. You even have one from Bill Aucoin. Bill Aucoin talks about Eric Carr, his auditioning in the band, how he was the perfect fit. He and Eric both separately talk about how they auditioned around 70 drummers. So it's just really cool to hear some of that history being told from the guys themselves. But so let's go ahead and get into the actual physical release here. So I have the CD here. I'm going to go ahead and get this plastic off. There is no hype sticker, no reason to keep the plastic. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off. Again, here is the cover here, the really awesome rendition of the Creatures cover. Here's the back. You have a really awesome photograph of Eric playing from, it looks like around the Hot in the Shade era. I believe that drum kit and that outfit looks to be around the Hot in the Shade era. So yeah, really cool. It's all stylized to look like Creatures of the Night, respectfully. I had to really restrain myself from looking at this stuff before I did my video. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have inside, because we have some really awesome stuff here. Here's a really cool sleeve. On one side, you have a photograph of Eric Carr from maybe the Creatures tour, I think. I can see the tank there. So there's Eric from the Creatures tour behind the kit. And then on the back side, you have a shot from the Animalized tour. Also him. So makeup and non-makeup, Fox, and just regular, Eric Carr, Paul Caravella right there. So I love the fact that they included some awesome artwork on the sleeves. And then the CD itself they did this last year, and I'm so glad they continued the trend. So I'll try and help you guys see it as best as possible. They made this CD to look like a vinyl, to the point where not only does it look like a vinyl, but if you just gently run your finger over, it actually has grooves, as if it were a record. So I love the fact that they went a little, extra with it, with the detail, made it look like a vinyl. Plain black on the back. And so there is that. I wanted to show that to you guys and make sure you guys got to see that. But yeah, so it's made to look like a record. It comes in a sleeve just like a record would. I love the attention to detail here. And we do have one more pull out here, and it is some liner notes. We have some text here, of course, praising Eric. Eric Carr's spirit is truly alive in each and every song. Absolutely. And all the people that worked on this did a really good job. So it was produced, executive producer is Loretta Caravello, production assistant Beth Jordan. I mean, let's see here. The picture cover is Torben Christensen, and the picture back cover is Lauren Famel. Poster painting by Chloe Azule. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Let's take a look at this poster. I'm seeing this for the first time. That is sick. I love that. Check this out. So this is like a comic book style poster they've included last year. It was very stylized to look like a 1978 solo album. They did a really good job. I love the artistic choice here. You have Eric's signature there at the bottom, printed on there. I love this. I love that Eric Carr is getting this level of attention. I remember when we started the podcast, we were talking about how there needs to be more Eric Carr releases, Eric Carr soundboard, Eric Carr this, Eric Carr that. And so, here we are in 2024, and let's see, over the last couple years alone, we've had, there's the Poughkeepsie soundboard with both Mark St. John and Eric Carr. There was the Creatures box set, which had some soundboard recordings with Eric Carr from Creatures Tour. Of course, you had demos and alternate outtakes where he was playing, so that's just super awesome. Now you have this. There was the one last year, again, Rockology for April Record Store Day. There was even a picture disc release in November of last year. So here we are again in 2024 with an awesome Eric Carr Record Store Day release. It kind of makes me wonder, if this is going to continue on. Again, there's only 2 posthumous Eric Carr albums, and so maybe in 2025 we'll have a third one with all new demos and things that have been unearthed, maybe including some of these previous unreleased tracks. I think there's at least 1 or 2 unreleased tracks on last year's Rockology, so maybe they'll put this, and more to make a third one. I don't know. Honestly, as long as they keep the Eric Carr content coming, that's what I want as an Eric Carr fan, as a drummer, as a Kiss fan. So, yeah, here you guys go. You guys have seen me take a look at this. I'm having a hard time getting it back in. There we go. Okay. I'm having a difficult time getting it all back together. I want to make sure it's put back together nicely and neatly. And in the meantime, I want to know from you guys, were you guys able to get the new Eric Carr Record Store Day release? I was not upset at all that I couldn't get the vinyl with the light up eyes. Even though I did see it, I had it in my sights. The person in front of me, I got to talk to and chat a little bit about Kiss. They were around my age, so talking with a young fan about Kiss, about Eric Carr, and our love for the band, our love for rock and roll, it doesn't get any better than that. That's what it's all about. So I was happy that they were able to get the Eric Carr copy on vinyl. I was just happy to get my CD. And so, where's the Obi strip at? I should have, here it is, yes. It also came with an Obi strip. And on the back here, again, just has some artwork there. But we have former drummer of Kiss. This deluxe package includes 5 never-before-released bonus tracks, demo tracks, new comic book style poster, printed inner sleeve with rare photos, liner notes, and, of course, the LP Groove Design CD. So what an awesome, awesome release, made with love for the Fox, Eric Carr. This is absolutely incredible. And so if you guys want more Eric Carr stuff, you can go to, it says visit the official Eric Carr website, ericcarr.com. There is some awesome Eric Carr merch if you just need to get some more Eric Carr fix in your life. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you were able to get your copy of Unfinished Business. And if you did, talk about it in the comments, especially if you got the really cool vinyl with the light up eyes. That was such a neat feature. I hope they do more things like that, whether it's Kiss or not, I don't know. Whoever's doing these releases, keep going. Loretta, the Eric Carr family, keep it up, because us Kiss fans are loving it. And so thank you, Kiss Army, for watching this video. And please, please stay tuned to the next episode of the Kiss Army Things podcast. Coming next Sunday, I'm going to be having Joey Casada. I mentioned ZO2 a minute ago and how Joey and his band were featured on this Unfinished Business album. So I'm going to be having Joey back on my show next week. We're going to be talking about his involvement with this album and just Eric Carr in general. And so you better believe it's going to be a fun episode. So please join me for that next week right here on YouTube on the Kiss Army Things podcast. Really appreciate you guys joining me. My name is Xander. Peace out.